All right, Rockin' this Spring. We got the Broken Thumbs all the way from Spokane. We love the Northwest. Please introduce yourself. Tell us what you play.
I'm Ryan, and I play the drums.
I'm Zach, and I play the guitar.
Now, growing up with music, we all fell in love with music on different albums, different shows. What was some of the standouts to you? Some of the albums or artists or that big show you went to that changed your life?
I would say, as far as like more in our generation, Deftones were a big one for me.
Game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly around the Fur when that came out. That's where I really started to turn that direction as far as my tastes and kind of what I wanted to do as a musician as well. So that was a huge influence for me.
All kinds of stuff. I love everything. Listen to all kinds of albums, metal. Kind of some of the heavier stuff. I'd say one band that always stands out to me that really got my attention was the Human Abstract, which is very few people know about them, but
I loved that first
stylistically, I'm like, you can do this, and this with hard rock, and then it still sounds awesome. Things like that for shows. I mean, I've been lucky enough to see so many shows and so many great shows that I can't even think of my favorite one off the top of my head.
You remember like the first big production where you walked in?
Yeah, it was actually
not just drums and guitars.
Weird Al.
Weird Al?
Swear to God.
The
Weird Al
costumes and
I
the
was
video.
like 10. I was 10 and it was awesome.
It was like MTV came to life.
Yeah, it was like he would do a couple songs and then he'd go off stage and change, and then they'd have the big projector. It would do like a skit in between. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it so clearly. I was like 10 or 11.
Like a Broadway show.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, Weird Al.
I didn't know that.
That's the first one I remember
Oh
seeing.
yeah, it's amazing. So now I know you guys mix a lot of music into what you do. Is that a natural evolution, or did you kind of set out to create this sound?
Yeah, I think it came about naturally just because we're all coming from these different worlds, you know, DJ, EDM, style, metal, more just, you know, rock and moody stuff, and David's got a lot of similar influences that he draws from as well. Okay. So we just all wanted to bring our favorite influences and just kind of make something we wanted to collectively hear out of it, you know. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been a fun process.
Well, that's what's amazing about the indie scene. You can just, there's no rules. You can just create what you want to hear and not worry about, well, am I conforming to this format or, you know, what this guy wants us to play. And, you know, that's the true art. I mean, if you go out there doing what you do, then there's a good chance that you'll stand out and people remember you.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I think another thing about us is we're also open-minded to the whole idea. You know, I kind of come from a more of a hard rock metal background where, you know, some people are like, well, if it's not metal, then I don't care. Like,
what is metal?
Hip hop, DJ, EDM music stuff. This is stupid, you know. But the thought of like, okay, what can I play that'll fit with what he's doing and how David's vocals work, and you know, I enjoy the challenge of making all the pieces kind of snap into place and, you know, become something that people can groove to and enjoy. That's the fun part. Everybody being open-minded is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's the hybrid of the music and the styles that's exciting. Like you say, these groups come, you know, from their own love of what they're doing, as opposed to, you know, fitting in this niche that's so narrow. They can't. What were they supposed to sound like? 14,000 other bands, or what?
Yeah, exactly. It's a niche and it's crowded all the time.
Yeah. Well, obviously the Northwest has a, you know, amazing history of music. Even though, you know, Spokane might not be the first one they think of, but tell us about some of the, you know, talent or artists that has come from that area.
Well, the first one that comes to mind is Miles Kennedy. A lot of people know who he is now, especially with Slash and Alter Bridge.
He still lives there, huh?
Yeah, still lives there. You know, Steel Panther came to town not that long ago, and they call him up on stage, and he sings Highway to Hell with them, and so he's there.
Ryan Folden's drumming for Lacuna Coil now.
Yeah, Lacuna Coil's drummers from Spokane. He comes out, shows all the time, hangs out. Yeah, it's just, you know, there's a lot of people that sometimes you don't even know, like, oh, so-and-so's off doing that now? Like, that's awesome. There's almost like a lot of under-the-radar type people doing things like that. A lot of talent in Spokane.
There is.
That not necessarily a lot of people know about, which is the funny thing, you know, just because they're not really deep in the scene, they're making money doing it and enjoying it and being very good at it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the fun part about it.
I know the Knitting Factory's got a few venues. And
Yep, Knitting
I
Factory's
think they've got a theater
fantastic
in
there.
Missoula or something that going on.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
work with like Big Sky Brewing over
do they?
in
Yeah.
Montana,
Okay.
but they've got a Boise venue and a Spokane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spokane was fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, as far as, being an, independent artist these days, what's the best thing about it? Because, like I say, obviously the days of the old record deals and MTV and all that are a memory.
Yeah.
But as far as you're concerned, what is the advantages now?
Well, I think the big advantage is you're your own boss in that sense. You can make your decisions, you can make your own business decisions, do whatever you want, play whenever you want, go to whatever cities you want, and do what you want to do with your own money. It's all you. So if you go into it with a very strong sense of business, or not even very strong, just have an idea of what you want to do, I think you can achieve as much as you want as long as you're willing to work hard for it. And you don't have to answer to anybody.
Right,
And
you
so many
control
people,
your own destiny.
yeah, so many people are independent these days that it's almost like you're working together to get to build something. No one's answering to anybody in particular, so it's great.
Well, I would say the indie community shares information, ideas. It's not like major labels or political parties that are, plotting against each other. Or, it's really us against them, meaning the old way that it had to be before, or selling out and doing something for $1 that you don't really believe in.
Absolutely.
How about you? What are the other advantages you see?
It's very, very much in line with what Zach had to say. You live or die by the effort you're putting in. And it's just great to be able to make the music you want to make. And then hope other people can relate to it. And then being able to share that is on your terms is a really cool feeling. That's really hard to match in any other industry.
It's amazing. When you put something together that it was your kind of brainchild and your idea from day one, either it's just like a local show somewhere that you're playing, and it's your idea, let's put a show on here, and let's pick the bands, and let's pick the venue, let's rent a venue, let's make the flyer, let's make the posters, make the video, let's promote the video ourselves on Facebook, let's promote it on YouTube, let's promote it on Instagram, and let's get a radio ad, let's get sponsors. And you start with a small idea, and the next thing you know, it's like you've built your own brand for just one show. It's something that I think a lot of local bands can be very proud of, and no matter the outcome, that's something that a lot of people can't do. But if you put it together, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Well, you've created something from nothing in a sense, because it didn't exist before.
Just like the music.
It was an idea in your head.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's got momentum, and there's people talking about it, and it's
That's the
it's
craziest
great to be a
thing.
dreamer, but figure out how to pull it off.
Exactly. It's fun. I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in the idea of, I start a band and I want to be famous. To me, it's been so much about let's put together our first show. Back in this, let's do our first show. Let's do our first one. Let's go get sponsors, and kind of trying each little business thing along the way. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh, we do this every time now. When back in the day, I'm like, maybe someday we'll have a sponsor, or maybe someone will help us with a show. That was a dream at one point. Now it's something that happens every show you do. Or that's kind of the beauty of being independent, because you can do whatever you want. And if you want PR help, you can hire a PR. You can then outsource it when you want it, when you need it.
Yeah.
So it's
You
pretty
can
amazing.
kind of build the vision you had that you wanted to give the audience, and undiluted. There's nothing in between you and them.
Yeah.
To build it. Now, I know you guys are out on this tour, Silent Theory. Now, how does a tour like this come together? Somebody calls somebody, word of mouth, you guys open?
Well, yeah. So Silent Theory and ourselves and Live in Barcelona all were asked to come play Rock in the Spring here in Vegas, and all being from the same general region, we all just kind of reached out to each other and it's like, hey, let's go down and represent together, And so we booked some shows on the way down,
Okay.
with some help, from folks booking with us and stuff like that. But so yeah, we book our way down, play here, and then we're going back up the West Coast afterwards. We got a couple shows in California, Portland, and then back home after that to write and record. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, besides all the great music from the West Coast, I'm amazed at that whole corridor between Vancouver and LA and San Diego of just an amazing amount of everything, technology and entertainment and just
Miles.
ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's again, going to college in Bellingham, I'm on the 5, and I'm like, wow, the 5 goes from Canada to Mexico. This is a long freeway here, but just the seeing how Seattle's exploded with all the companies and the technology
Yeah.
up there, and of course Vancouver's always been that, and the Bay Area became the Silicon Valley, and LA does what it does, and now San Diego, and of course Vegas. We count them in. It's
Yeah.
a short,
Sure, of course.
short
drive.
little trip over here.
Yeah.
We'll throw them in, but again the whole West Coast. It's kind of exciting to be proud to be from it and kind of represent it in a way, or the spirit of it.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
every company, every band might be a little different, but we're all kind of doing what we want to do.
Not to mention how beautiful it is.
Oh.
Jeez, I stare out the window so much in the RV on the tour so
know.
far.
Yeah, the drive from Salt Lake to here was gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know,
And unique.
Yeah.
Something we're not used to. Some more, more like red rocks, kind
Right,
of
the
sandy.
red rocks.
It's interesting.
Every time I go back up to the Northwest, I'm like, I can't believe how green it is.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly. Yep.
I guess all that rain kind of
Yep.
ends up somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm from Aberdeen, so
Okay.
that's what I'm used to. So whenever I'm in the gray weather or rain, I'm just like, this is nice. Yeah.
I know in LA we get a quarter-inch. People are like, oh my God, we're
Yeah.
freaking out. The
Yeah.
sky's falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but coming through that grunge era and all that, of course, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, and just seeing how Dave Grohl has spun that off, and just people keep that spirit moving, and even if they're working with a bigger company, they're doing it on their terms.
Yeah.
A lot of these artists really are independent artists. They're just affiliated with a larger company, and that's kind of more and more possible these days. These big companies that kind of had that one way, it's our way or the highway, are now are like, okay, well, we can't own you. How about if we, joint venture?
Yeah,
or,
we'll do your distribution
yeah,
for
how
you.
can
or
we?
we'll
How can we
market
be
you.
a part of it, or what exactly
Yeah.
do you guys want?
Yeah.
And that's a loosening of that kind of, that iron grip they had.
Yeah.
I think it's still evolving too. I think there's still a ways to go to find the next groove in the industry.
It's fascinating. 30 Seconds to Mars had a documentary, Artifacts. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was, all the things I'm like, I have a pretty good idea of how it all works, but then watching that and hearing him explain it in such a simple term, it's like,
So much
that is crazy. Like, I
Yeah.
can't believe that was actually how it was done, or how it is done in some cases still. It's, that was fascinating. That really made me want to push more for just independent. Work as hard as you want. You can achieve anything you want as long as you have some talent and the drive. The drive to me is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
So
And that's what's great about YouTube or all these streaming things and all the documentaries that are out there. You can really kind of get the word out. Before you had these big network TVs that, if it wasn't mass appeal, they didn't want to talk about it. But now you can go do a documentary on anything and kind of enlighten people,
Yeah.
And then just put it right out there.
Yeah.
For everyone to
Yeah, amazing stuff.
And-
Now, who are some of the other artists you guys look up to today, whether it be that work ethic or the combining of the elements of the electronics and rock, and who are some of the the benchmarks you kind of inspired by?
Well, gosh, as far as like the work ethic side of it, it's a band that actually, unfortunately, the last couple days just announced that they were done. Was Let Live. There's an example of a band that just worked their asses off, and they had the talent to back it up, and they just didn't stop for 15 years until they decided that was our message. We existed
We
to do what
fulfilled
we
it.
did, and now it's time to do something else. So as far as the work ethic side of it, that would be one. And then just as far as like the sound, I guess, influences. Deftones are still up on top for me. Thrice, Glassjaw, and then on the more electronic side, there's like Nero, Excision, Destroyed, things like that. They're kind of a heavier, edgier side of the electronic thing.
Sure.
Yeah, for me, one of the first bands that really got my attention more recently with their independent work and their drive and everything was a band called Intervals. It's a progressive band, instrumental band, and their leader, Aaron Marshall, he kept talking about how we're 100% independent, support as much as you can, everything is ours, and then they debuted their 2 albums ago, I think. And then it actually charted really well on Billboard, something like that. I remember posting all about it. I'm like, wow, you can do this on your own if people care about it enough and you're smart about it and just hard work. And then I always look up what he's doing and what the band's doing and how it's all just independent. How it's really community with kind of the instrumental progressive, core. I went and saw him live with Angel Vivaldi and Plenty. And I remember just watching them, and like they shared musicians on stage, and it was a really do-it-yourself kind of tour, and independent, and it was really cool to watch just their success with helping each other and
collaborative, interactive process.
Exactly. Like, well, we're gonna, plenty of bass players gonna play with us on this, and their lead guitar was gonna play rhythm guitar on interval set. And it was just cool to see this kind of. It was maybe a night of 12 musicians, but 4 bands.
Well, not only their creativity grew, but the audience were the winners. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It was incredible show. It's not cookie cutter and 3 different bands that don't know each other. And,
It was amazing.
That's awesome. Now, all that you've been through and all you've seen, what advice you give to the youngsters coming up? Because again, a lot of them have stars in their eyes, like, oh man, it's so cool, and you get paid, and you get famous, and it's what do you tell them and about the process of loving every little bit of it?
If you really love it as much as you say you do, you're not going to stop until you get what you want out of it. It's okay to have the stars in your eyes and dream big, but if you're not going to work every ounce of yourself into it, it's really tough to make happen.
What's the point?
Like you
can't savor every little bite of it.
Just don't stop working. That's the number one I would say is just work hard.
Sure.
Work hard, and it's all for the love of it. If you stop loving it, don't do it. Don't grind through it just because you think it's cool, or the girls will think you're hot or whatever. As soon as you get that thought in your head, at least I've never had it, but I would assume quit. I mean, then you're not putting. I like to think every line I write is because I love music, and I'm writing this guitar because I love it, because I want it to fit, and I want to just enjoy it. And if we play a show in front of 5 people and one of them like it, success. That's success to me. If we play in front of 1,000 people and 800 love it, great. I mean, it just depends. If one person enjoys what I enjoy doing and love,
you don't take any of it for granted.
Exactly.
It's not really work. If you love what you do, it's like this passionate adventure you're on.
Yeah, that's why we'll drive hours and hours and hours at a time, tired, sometimes hungover, whatever it is, to get to the next venue to play in front of who knows how many people, just to get one person to enjoy it and to look at us go, it looks like they're having fun, like that. I want to do that, or I want to support them. It's always about that one person. It's not about the thousands. It's about the one person. In my eyes, I'm trying to influence that one person, touch them.
That's incredible.
To me personally, like if I'm passionate about something, that work ethic just comes naturally, and you actually enjoy that side of it as well. Besides getting on stage and playing, you enjoy knowing that you're working this hard for something that you care so much about, and then to see some of that come back, other people enjoying it too. It's just, there's nothing like it in the world.
Well, thanks so much for sharing with us. TheBrokenThumbs.com, where we can go for more information, and we'll spread the word. Can't wait to see you on the next show.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.